Hi everyone. This is like the second attempt. No, the third, because yeah, my husband didn't know where I was because I forgot to tell him I was coming out to vlog, and because the house is full, they're watching the race, and my father-in-law, my mother-in-law is in there. But anyways, this is, if y'all don't know who I am, my name's Melissa Hankins, and I just really started vlogging because I wanted to share my story because I wanted to help somebody, if not help them, feel like they have a gateway to somebody that will talk. And, like, I understand that being in foster care is not easy. Being in and out of homes, or being in a home where fighting's the norm. Yeah, so let's get started. Hi, my name is Melissa Hankins. I was born in Abbeville, South Carolina. I was born in the hospital. I was my mama's only C-section. Yeah, that was, my mama laughs about it still to this day because I was tiny. I was like a little baby. I wasn't big, but I don't know what my problem was. Anyways, my brother before me died of SIDS. He died of SIDS. I think he was 6 months old. I'm not for sure. My daddy worked on a crane. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, far as I can remember, up until I was 6 or 7, and then she started working at McDonald's. One or earlier, DCS got involved in our lives. It was horrible. Some of the foster homes was worse than being at home with my parents who fought constantly. As far as the abuse, yeah, that was horrible. I'm sorry for the pause. I'm just trying to figure out how to do all this. I wrote a lot of things down because I want to not leave anything out or anything. So at the age of 6, my mom and dad moved to Clifton. So we moved from Abbeville, South Carolina to Clifton, Tennessee. My mother was expecting my youngest sister, Sarah Anna, at, I think she was 2 or 3 months pregnant, or further along. I'm not for sure, but I know I was only 6. But all I knew is I wanted to see that baby, and I was totally ready to, to have a baby sister, because my brother was born before her, and I wanted a baby sister. And they moved to Clifton because they were trying to avoid DCS. So, sorry, y'all. That's, why they moved there. They were trying to avoid DCS. It didn't work very long. I'm very sorry to say. It didn't work very long because our neighbors called the cops all the time because my parents fought so much. I love my baby sister so much. She was my whole world. At 6 years old, you think, well, you don't really remember. I remember I was waiting on that baby to get here because I wanted my baby sister, and I knew she would be here. I love that baby girl to death. Then we got took yet again. And then we went to live with this family called the McCormicks. That was probably, out of all of my remembrance, was the best foster home I had. It was the #1 best foster home I ever had. So, Casey, if you're watching this, I love you. We lived with the McCormicks for probably about a year. A whole year we lived with them, and yeah, I'm outside enjoying this weather. It's fixing to storm. But anyways, then we were moved back home for another year, or another year and a half. I don't quite remember all of that, but I know that it wasn't a very long period, because then we got took again later on down the road. The law became, when we moved from Clifton to Linden, the law and DCS was part of life. We thought that was normal. As kids, we thought being in and out of foster care was normal. Having the law involved in our lives. And we thought that was normal because that's all we knew. Because my parents were so, dysfunctional, I guess you could say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But I'm saying it had an impact on our lives. I know by the age of 5, I would go to kindergarten. And all I wanted was my parents to be happy, because I seen all these kids in school and they were so happy and they had such a happy life. And I went to school, I didn't have no lunch money or anything like that. I had to eat what I brought from home or eat in the cafeteria. I didn't have any lunch money. And going on to even being 6, I remember I totally wanted to be happy, because it would get so bad to where we would have to hide in the closets. And I don't know what the feeling was, but I knew something wasn't right, because I knew it wasn't normal, because I lived with Casey McCormick for so long that I knew her and Tim were so happy together. They were so, every home, has their fights and their arguments. Every home, I don't know what up with this hairdo today, but anyways, it's just trying to fly because I haven't done nothing with it since I washed it this morning. But anyways, so, the new norm was, DCS and law in and out of our lives. I mean, that really had an impact on my life. And I think at 6 years old is when I started having really bad anxiety. Anxiety, am I going to ever have a family? Am I ever going to have somebody love me for who I am? I mean, I had a lot of questions at 6 years old. I really did. And I just didn't understand. And, when a child doesn't understand and there's nobody there to explain for them, it's hard to deal with by yourself, or you have to answer to your siblings. And my sisters would tell me, I wish Mom and Daddy wouldn't fight all the time, and I wish that they could be like those people. And they were talking about Casey McCormick, and they knew. And I was very lucky to be able to stay with 4 of my brothers and sisters. Well, 1 brother and 3 sisters. I just knew I wanted to be happy because I knew something wasn't right. I didn't know what was it, but I knew something wasn't right. And I just wanted to be happy. And I had a lot of questions. And I think that I realized I had post-traumatic distress disorder when I was 7 or 8. I went to a therapist and they diagnosed me with that. And they wanted me to take what I would call a whole script. And I didn't want to be on medicine. I didn't want to rely on medicine, even at a young age, because I seen how it just tore my family apart, because drugs was a part of life. Alcohol was a part of life. Now, as an adult, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying alcohol is wrong. Having a drink every now and then or having fun, that's fine. But don't drink every single day and be so dog drunk that you're fighting and throwing stuff. And I don't know how to explain it. It really broke our home. I grew up in a broken home, and it's not easy. It's not an easy road, and it wasn't easy on me. And I'm not saying this because I want self-pity. I'm saying this because I want people to know that there's other people out here that go through this. And still to this day, I'm 24 years old, and I still go through things. I still have nightmares. I still have to deal with anxiety. If it wasn't for my husband, I don't know. I think I would literally be in a mental hospital sometimes, because it gets so bad I can't handle myself. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not. And I'm not saying my husband's perfect. But without him, I'll tell y'all in some later videos as this goes along about, what happened up in my childhood further. But, anyways, I was so broken. I was such a broken little girl. I remember crying. We had some friends, and their names was the Morgans. And I remember they would come over, and they were so happy. They had so many kids. They were so happy. And, like, nothing could really, like, stop their happiness, I guess I could say. And I was so broken. I would always ask God, because my grandparents, before we moved from South Carolina, they would take us to church with them, and they would tell us about God. And I remember, and Casey McCormick took us to church every Sunday. And I remember I would always ask God, why does this have to be me? Why do I have to go through this? Or the biggest question was, why can't I have parents who really love me? Why can't I have somebody that wants to love me for who I am? And it was hard. It was so hard. Like, I try not to cry, because it gets hard talking about it sometimes. Because I was so broken. Like, I remember, I think I was 8. No, I had to be 7. I remember I asked the Baptist preacher one day. I was like, why don't my parents love each other? And he said, well, I don't know. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, my parents don't. I said, they literally don't like each other. He was like, well, he said, if your parents don't love you, he said, because he knew we were in and out of foster homes a lot. And he said, his exact words, well, I don't remember the exact words, but it was something to the effect of, if they don't love you, God loves you. And that's what counts. And he says, when you feel like you need somebody to talk to and you don't have nobody, he said he's there, and he'll always be there. He's never going to leave you. And that stuck to me to this day. And I remember going in the closet and asking God, a lot of times, why do I have to be part of a broken home? Why do I have to grow up this way? Why do I have to have bruises on me from being abused all the time? Like, my daddy would, like, literally hit us. Like, not, like, slap us. He would literally, like, hit us. He was very abusive. He would throw things at my mom. And, like, it was horrible. And, sorry, something's my butt. I'm sitting outside on the ground. I just know that growing up in a broken home is not easy. And, you can waller in that, or you can get up and say, I'm going to be a better person. And like I heard somebody say before, the best thing you can give somebody who has abused you, used you, whatever it might be, the best thing you can give them is to be happy and live higher than they think, because you are 10 feet tall and you can get through this. And no, it's not going to be easy by no means, but I can promise you one thing: you're going to get through it, because you know why? You're stronger, you're bigger, and you're better than this. And you know what? Living 10 feet tall is better, because my foster dad used to tell me all the time. Let me tell you something, and I'll introduce him later, but he used to tell me all the time, you're going to be a hoe standing on the corner. The only way you're going to make a living is being a hoe standing on the corner using drugs. Let me tell you something, that's so wrong. That is so wrong. I graduated high school. I got a full-time job, and I graduated CNA school. And before long, I'm thinking about going to the police academy. So I'm living 10 feet tall, because I ain't going to give him power. By you sitting there going, okay, well, this is what he said, I'm going to live that way. No, the best thing you can do is live bigger, better, and stronger than that, because you are. Because, like God said, with God all things are possible. If you let that define you, or you let that be what you go by, you're not going to be nobody. You're going to struggle through life. And I'm not perfect. I struggle every day. I really do. But I know at the end of the day, I'll live 10 feet tall because I am. And I'm sorry this video has been so choppy and long, but I just kind of wanted to tell y'all a little bit about my life and kind of introduce myself and some things I've been through. But remember, you're bigger, you're better, you're stronger. Live 10 feet tall, because let me tell you something, that's the best way you can live, because you prove them wrong every day you live. So, I will see y'all on Wednesday. Bye.